Hi everyone, welcome back to the Reclaimed Ranch. My name is Tara. If you're new here, welcome. Today I am going to do 4 projects that I had retrieved from the Goodwill Bins at some point, and so we are going to make them into some fall home decor. The first thing is this little tiny foam pumpkin. I just wanted to give it a different look. I wasn't keen on the color of the velvet fabric that was on there. So I had this old-time tissue paper, and so I thought I would decoupage that onto the pumpkin, and I was pleasantly surprised when I took the fabric off that it was already white, so I didn't have to paint it. So I'm going to go in with my Fusions transfer gel and just start decoupaging away on this. It seems like it was a little bit harder when I had the bigger pieces because of the creases of the pumpkin. So after a while, I did kind of start making them just a little bit smaller. But you just want to make sure to kind of dip that paper down in the crease and keep working it out towards the sides. You're going to probably end up with some crinkles. It's just normal on a round surface, but it turns out really cool. So I just keep working my way around. You can see I'm kind of ripping them a little bit smaller, and then I like to kind of angle them different ways to give it more dimension and not so like straight on linear look. So but it's just your preference, whatever you want to do. And then I had these little sticks that I had from my trees, and so I cut them into little pieces, and I bought these little pine cones from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to add a couple of pine cones to it, and then a little bit of the Spanish moss around the base there to cover up that white from the pumpkin. And then this project's all done. And you can do all different kinds of pumpkins. You can decoupage with different styles and napkins and make your home decor look super cute. So fun and easy project. The second one we have for today is I did get this board. It's just a plain board, but it's already got the edges beveled out, and so I thought it would be a cute little fall sign. So I'm going to go in with my Manor Green from Fusion, and I'm going to do 2 coats of that and have a nice good base to work with, and then we're going to play with some transfers. I've got a leftover transfer with sunflowers from Redesign. It's called Sunflowers. And we're going to put some sunflowers on there. And since I've been doing a lot of pumpkins lately, I thought I'd get a couple of sunflowers in for the shop and see how well. Usually they sell pretty well, so we'll see how it goes. But again, with the Fusion paint, you don't need to seal it. So I just let it dry really good in between the coats, and then after it's completely dry, we can go in with the transfer. If you go before it's completely dry, there is a risk of pulling up the paint. So yep, this is the sunflower decor. You can find this on my website at thereclaimedranch.com, and it's just got beautiful large sunflowers. I think this would be so cute on like a little girl's dresser, either white or even black or a green color, and just have the sunflowers going up. It would be so cute. Or even like a sunroom or something. So if you've never used a transfer before, it comes on a little white backing. You take that off, and then you take your transfer, you place it where you want it. Just make sure to stick it down exactly where you want it, because you pretty much, once you stick it down, it's got to stay. So, and then they have a little tool that you use to just push down onto your project, and then I kind of lift underneath the vellum with my fingers while I push down with the plastic, and it usually works really well. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a little fun sign, and I love transfers because you can overlap them. You can create your own, so you can get a different transfer and put different flowers on there as well. But I'm just going to stick with the sunflower theme for now. And then we're going to also do a stamp kind of over off to the right a little bit. I'm just going to stamp the word fall, and I'm going to be using the typesetting stamp from IOD. So again, here you can see I've got my finger underneath. I'm trying to lift, and then once you lift, you can kind of push down with the stick, and you'll see it grab onto your transfer. And as soon as you're done, you take that piece of plastic and rub it all over. It's called burnishing. And then I also kind of go over with my fingers a little bit to push it down, just like that. And that's going to adhere that transfer really well to your project. Now I do have to go over and seal this transfer part with, you can use any kind of seal or polyacrylic. You can use the Rust-Oleum 2x matte spray or satin spray, whatever you prefer, but make sure to seal the transfer part. So these are those letters, and we're going to go and put fall on there. And I always just eyeball. I'm not that big of a perfectionist. But I am going to use my thin mount, and I like to put it where it's going to go and then just push onto those letters, and that's going to stick to the thin mount. And flip it over, ink it up, and then you can just put it right back on. Now I decided to use white just because of the dark green background, but you can also use, any other color. It's just not going to show up as well. But you could do white and then paint any color as well. So you can kind of use it as a guide to paint the letters. But I just kept it with the white. I thought it looked fine. And go ahead and just place it down and then gently put one hand on to hold it and then just rub gently with the other finger. And continue to do that. That way it's not going to smudge or move on you. And then once I pull this, you want to pull straight up like that. And then you have your beautiful letters. And then I instantly use a baby wipe just to clean it off. And then I'm going to go back in with my second L. And that's pretty easy because, of course, your thin mount is clear, so you can kind of place it wherever you need to continue your word. So let me know what you guys think of this. I know I have a couple viewers that are absolutely like sunflower babies. They just love them. So I thought it'd be fun to do something for them. Okay, so this third project, I found this box looking thing. I don't know, like it's an odd looking drawer, but if, maybe it was like a folder holder or something, I don't know, but I decided just to go ahead and sand off this little saying. It's a little outdated, so we're going to sand that off. And then I'm going to paint it and decoupage some cute little pumpkins on there and make it to where you can just put little mushrooms or pumpkins or like a bowl filler type stuff in there. And I'm going to go ahead and put 2 coats of plaster on there. And this is just a really pretty creamy color. I think it goes well with the decoupage paper that I've picked out. And of course it's light enough base to have those colors pop. I was taking a chance on this because this wood was pretty raw form and had a lot of orange tones in it, so it could have been a bleeder. If you don't know what that is, it's where you paint something on and then the tannins and the colors come through. They bleed through the paint. So I actually got lucky. But typically, I would want to put some kind of stain blocker on before painting it. I just get impatient. And then if it does bleed, I just then wait and have to go back a step, but that's okay. We were lucky enough to not have to worry about that in this one. So we're going to continue to paint here and let it dry, and then we will do some fun little texture stamps before we decoupage the pumpkins on. I'm just going to go ahead and prepare the paper to be decoupaged. I love using the water method. It makes it so much easier to rip instead of doing it dry. You can do it either way, but The water method just makes it really, really easy. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of these sizes and decoupage 1 on each side. And then that one in the upper left corner with the 4 pumpkins, I'm actually going to tear that in half at kind of a diagonal so that I can put a couple more pumpkins down towards the front. And we're going to be using vintage textures from IOD. And it has all kinds of like crackles and different old textures that you would find on old vintage barn wood or, fun pieces like that, salvage pieces. So I'm just going to do it in the areas where the decoupage is not going to go. And it's just fun to create your own little vintage piece, make it look crackly and textured. And this is the first time I've actually used this set, so it was a lot of fun. I was pleasantly surprised because it actually looked pretty dang authentic, so definitely going to be using this set again. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and just decoupage these little pumpkins on. Again, I'm going to do my starter strip from the top, and because this is such a small piece, I will work my way down, but I'm going to go ahead and just use the decoupage transfer gel on top as well at the same time. And that's going to help just push those bubbles out. And I also do use my heat gun here. That does the same thing. It just gets all that air released from underneath and flattens it out really nice. So we'll do the other side, and then like I said, we're going to take that last piece and kind of split it up, and I'm going to have the other pumpkins kind of flowing towards the front of the drawer a little bit. I don't know what to call this, but it has like a drawer front, so we'll call it a drawer. And so if you've never used heat to do that, just be careful because it can, if you do it too close, it can bubble your paint underneath, which you don't want. So I cut it with scissors, so now I have a straight edge that I need to make look more organic. And we're going to put that one there and then just fill in that little space down in the lower left. I'm going to take just an extra piece of decoupage and put it in there, and that makes it look a lot better. And then you'll want that to completely dry. So I'm just going to rip. That's what's nice about this is you can just take little pieces from anywhere and just continue to use them. You never know when you're going to need those smaller pieces, so don't throw them away. But yeah, I thought this was pretty cute. What would you use this for? Let me know down in the comments if there's like a specific, have you seen this before? Is there a specific use for these? It just reminds me of like an organizer type thing for files or something, but now it's cute fall decor. We'll stick with that. It's a lot more fun.
And the last step I'm going to do on this is I am going to take my antiquing wax that I got from Walmart, and I'm going to just take a baby wipe and rub it all over just to make it more even. There was some markings on it and things like that, so I did want to darken it up a little bit. And so it makes it look a little bit more brand new. And then I did bring it down onto the cream part of the paint, just on the edges, to kind of give it that older vibe to it. And I think it turned out really well. So you'll have to let me know in the comments what you guys think. And then I have one more project that was super fun to do. And it's this big wooden picture frame. Beautiful. It's got like scalloped edges. And I'm going to use the colored plaster again, kind of stay in the same theme. Give it 2 coats. And I got this at the bins, so it's super light too. So it probably cost less than $2 for this really big frame. And then my son took down his fence in the summertime, and he had a really nice, really old gray wooden fence boards. So of course I was like, oh, I want those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those boards and put it in the back of the picture. So it has like the framed boards. And then I got a wreath. This last trip I went to the bins, I got a fall wreath that was brand new. And all I did was add a couple of components. I wanted to add a little bit of wheat to it. And there was a couple areas that were a little holy. So I just added a couple of flowers and it turned out gorgeous. So here's the old boards. This is the back side of the board. The front side's really old and gray and weathered looking. So I'm just taking my little portable nail gun and I love this thing. It's just amazing. Makes my life so much easier. Don't have to be connected to cords. And I did have to angle the nails a little bit because the frame that I was nailing into was super thin at that point. So I just angled it and it seemed to work really well. And then I got 3 full boards on there. The last board was a little long, so I did have to use my jigsaw to cut it down. If you're afraid of power tools, I was too at some point, and I just, go slow, be careful, wear your goggles, all that good stuff, and typically you don't have any problems. See how pretty that gray is, though? It's gorgeous. And so I took my little finger sander and went around the edges, distressed it a little bit, and then here's that wreath. And it was from Hobby Lobby, and they originally wanted $69.99 or something for it, which you always know that the minute they go on the sale floor or the floor, it's always on like sale 40% off. So they never get the tag price for some reason. But anyway, yeah, I think I paid maybe $1 for it at the Goodwill Bins for this brand new wreath. And I'm just going to add, like I said, just a couple flowers to make some bald spots a little bit more fluffier. And then I'm going to use a little cup holder hook. It's just one of those C-hooks. Put it into the wood on the frame, and then you have a gorgeous frame that you can change out for every season, which I thought was kind of cool. So I again am just an eyeballer. I know some people like to measure and do all that, and that's totally fine. I don't mind, but I want to get this done, so I just look to see where the middle might be and go from there. So here is the final products, and I think this little pumpkin just turned out so cute. I'm going to definitely make a lot more, put them in the shop and see how well they do. And so let me know what your guys' favorite is. Mine this week, kind of enough to say, I think it's that little drawer. Just because it's so unique. Like I've never seen anything like it, and it was just fun to spruce up for fall. And of course, the picture frame. It's something you can use year round. So I hope you all have a wonderful week, and we will be back here on Friday with some more flips from the bins. And let me know if you guys are anxious to start getting into Christmas at all, or you want me to just keep doing fall, because I definitely can do that as well. So take care, y'all, and we'll see you on Friday. Bye.